Hello and welcome to Simply Local. I'm Pam Uten, Family and Consumer Science Agent with Cooperative Extension.
And I'm David Goforth with Cooperative Extension. Today we're going to be talking about salads. And Pam, what's the definition of a salad?
Well, David, that's really kind of a hard question because today's salads can include so many different things. We think about it generally having some vegetables. It has usually lettuce and fruits, but today's salads can also have meat, all kinds of garnishes, all kinds of vegetables. We're not in the day of iceberg lettuce and ranch salad dressing anymore. Salads offer so much opportunity for variety.
And that's what I wanted to show is how a little bit salads will change over the course of the year, because here in Cabarrus County we cannot grow lettuce more than 2 or 3 months out of the year. And when we get into the early summer, this is what I've got out of my garden today, and we get some different things here. Let me show you a few of these things here. This is an heirloom cucumber that I grow. It's a white cucumber. It's been documented to have grown here in Cabarrus County for at least 110 years. We think it's been grown here for a couple hundred years actually. But I save the seed off this every year. And do you notice anything about this cucumber?
Well, it looks delicious, and the color is light.
A light color. We generally call them white cucumbers is one of the things. And this particular heirloom variety has got the black spines to it here, which looks a little bit different. Now, the other thing you'll notice, and maybe you won't notice until you bite into it, but they've got a very tender skin, way tender than some of our commercial cucumbers now. And that's a good thing there. They've got very seldom do you get one that's bitter. I mean, you really have to grow it wrong to make it bitter, and that's also a good thing. And probably the only negative, you might notice that the seed cavity is just a little bit larger. They've got the seed cavity smaller in some of the newer ones they've done, but they've also got the skins tougher and the taste is not as good, and so I continue to grow these right here. Now for a salad, I would slice them about like yay. Show you.
And now, David, maybe we failed to mention this. You're making a vegetable salad.
Yes.
Okay. I think we maybe didn't mention that. And in a few minutes, we'll be doing some more salads with fruits. Question, are these heirloom cucumbers available at the farmer's market?
Well, I sell them at the farmer's market.
Okay. Do other people sell them?
There's a couple others there, but you have to be careful because and I'm glad to share seed with some of the other people too, but you've got to be careful. The ones that don't have the black spines in there, they're a lot more prone to being bitter than these right here. And there's a couple other white ones on the market too.
Of course, you could always use the traditional green cucumbers.
Oh yes, yes. This is the patty pan squash that I grow it because the yellow here is a antioxidant called lutein, I believe is the way it's pronounced. And that is a very good one for your eyes actually, and mix those in. This is a sun gold cherry tomato, and I can get cherry tomatoes a little bit sweeter. I really wish you could taste one of these. You'll taste one after a while. Cherry tomatoes can be sweeter than the regular larger red tomatoes. They're smaller and don't need as much sugar in the fruit and turn out sweeter sometimes. So when they come on, this is one of the favorite salads me and my wife. We'll use the white cucumbers and these here, but I also mix in some squash with this one here. Now, I need just a little bit of green here, and I'll get that from this zucchini here.
This is like everything you have at your garden, isn't it?
This is everything, except I forgot to bring a red onion. Would you mind?
Sure. Would you like a slice of a red onion?
There we go. I'll put one of them. All right, that gives me a little bit of green in this color right here. Now, what I'm gonna do with this is marinate it for about 8 hours in the refrigerator. And so let me show you how I make my marinade here.
And David, I think it's interesting. You're just kind of tossing or adding random vegetables that you like. There's no particular amount. It's really what's available at your garden.
That's correct, and that's what's available today. I don't have any red in there. I could put some red in there, but let me go ahead and show you the marinade here. And I'll just mix this directly in here. I want to bring this up to about 8 ounces of vinegar. I use apple cider vinegar here. And I actually tend to get these measurements fairly precise here with the vinegar and the oil. I want 8 ounces of vinegar and 2 ounces of oil. So put those right into the jar. And then the sugar, it calls for 3/4 cup of sugar, but you can cut that down without hurting the safety of the recipe. This goes in the refrigerator, so we're not concerned. None of these have anything to do with safety here. It's just for taste. It's what we put in here.
And I think the key words there are marinades in the refrigerator.
Yes, that's what keeps it safe. Now, you don't want to get more than 3/4 cup of sugar though, because it won't dissolve. This 3/4 is about the maximum that will dissolve in this amount here. And we can put in a few spices. I like to put in about a 1/4 teaspoon of celery seeds, and there you go. That's what you measure, right?
Davis, I just missed that.
Okay. Well, you can watch on this, and I put in a
right.
little bit more mustard seed, about yay much of mustard seed. You can do it to taste.
Okay, let's say we're doing it to taste.
All right. Now, the other thing you can add to taste is salt, which I normally don't, and black pepper. You can put a little bit of black pepper in there, which again, I don't normally put a lot of that, but all those are for taste. And then you just mix this up. Get it, take a few minutes on this to where the sugar actually dissolves before you pour it into your marinade. Now you could do this in a bowl if you were cheap and didn't want to buy a little Ziploc bag, but I think I can afford a Ziploc bag at times. The reason I like a Ziploc bag, number one, is because you don't have to have a lot of marinade. You put it in a bowl, you've got to fill it up. Here, you just get a little marinade in there and you can toss it and turn it a little bit in the refrigerator, and it works pretty well. But once I get the sugar dissolved there, I will just dump this in here. I'm gonna squeeze a little bit of the air out of here. You don't have to do this really, but that's gonna help the marinade get up over it. It is ready to go to the refrigerator now. And again, I like to keep it at least 8 hours, but you can do it overnight with no problem. In fact, with the amount of vinegar in here, we'll sometimes eat this 2 or 3 days down the road.
Sure.
So you may have a different opinion on those, but
Well,
this
the
one
main
will be
thing is
fine.
keep them refrigerated, and you've added a lot of vinegar, and refrigeration is really important.
I think it's going to look pretty.
It's going to look beautiful,
I'll
David.
show you one I've done a couple of days ago. This is the way I'm expecting it to look and taste when we finish.
Okay, isn't that gorgeous? And just think, everything in here just about came. Did everything come from
Everything from there come from my garden.
From your home garden. And we're so lucky in Cabarrus County to be able to raise things like this. And these things are also available at the farmer's market.
Yes.
Did you know the flagship market on Weinkauf School Road is open year-round on Saturdays from 8 a.m. until noon and Tuesdays in the summer from 9 a.m. until noon? Looking for that just-picked freshness on Mondays? Head over to the Harrisburg Market behind the historic post office on Robinson Church Road from 4 to 7 p.m. Wednesdays aren't forgotten. Produce is available at Market Street in downtown Concord on the lawn of the police station from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. Thursdays, take home a new yoga move with your purchase. The Cannon Village, North Carolina Research Campus Indoor Market on West Avenue from 3 to 6 p.m. offers yoga along with produce, beef, crafts, and Sunshine's Asian cuisine. Shop local this summer. The Piedmont Farmers Market has everything you need. For more information, visit www.piedmontfarmersmarket.com.
Now, Pam, we've seen what a vegetable looks like in the early summer. Show us what one looks like some other time of the year.
Well, let's move on, David, and do some, not maybe vegetable salads, but some salads using a lot of our fruits that we have available. No matter what salad we're going to be making, if we're using, a type of lettuce, we always want to make sure that the lettuce is washed very well. And then we want to make sure that it is dried, and you can certainly dry it on a clean dishcloth. That's very important. Or if you want to splurge just a little bit, you can buy a salad spinner. And this is just really a great little tool that will help get that extra moisture off. Now, are you wondering, why do we need to get the moisture off? You know, I know.
I know, yeah.
You know, but maybe there's someone that doesn't know, or maybe they've had this experience happen. You prepare a salad and the lettuce or the type of vegetable you're using is just coated in water. And what happens? The dressing rolls off. So we're going to use a little salad spinner here, and you can buy one locally for less than $10. And I'm just pulling this, and the centrifugal force removes the water from the salad. And in this one, and I see we need to do it a little bit more, in this particular one I have iceberg lettuce, which is very common both in the grocery store and at the farmer's market, I would bet, in the summertime or in the early spring. Okay, you get the idea of using a salad spinner, and you'll notice that the water has kind of beaded around the side. So that's what the purpose of the salad spinner is, to remove that extra water from the salad or the leaves. When we're talking about salads, David, you know, we've got so many things to choose from today. We've got traditional spinach, our iceberg, arugula, all kinds of different types of lettuces. When you're making a salad, you want to allow about a cup of salad, or excuse me, a cup of lettuce per person. And then there's a lot of add-ins you can add, such as your squash, your tomatoes, your carrots, mushroom, peas, red onions, the list goes on and on. And you usually think about a half a cup of your add-ins per person. And then you can add some things for interest, perhaps like mandarin oranges, slivered almonds, dried cranberries, whatever you choose you can add for interest, and again about a half a cup or less. So whenever we're making a salad, our first step is to wash the lettuce and get it well drained, and I think we've done that. And then when you're using the lettuce like this, we want to tear the lettuce versus, I guess, cutting it, and we'll add it to our salad bowl over here. But it's real important that you're using some lettuce that's dry and you tear it. Now,
that will keep it from getting as brown as much as what reason you're doing that.
Yes, and also you can store this lettuce in the refrigerator in a Ziploc bag or in a plastic container, but we want to take good care of this lettuce so it will last for a little while. And we'll just slide this right over there. Now, David, the first salad we're going to make is just one that is a real traditional combination, but when people first hear about it, they go, what? I don't think so. But today we're going to make a simple salad with a spinach salad with mandarin oranges and red onions. Now, if you run out of time and can't get to the farmer's market, you know, you can buy bagged lettuce or bagged spinach. David, you probably don't like that too much, but it's a fact of life that we can buy bagged spinach and lettuce. And generally, you're going to find that the bagged spinach has been pre-washed, so it saves time. Our specialists tell us that we don't need to rewash the bagged spinach or lettuce that has been washed. So let's get going. Now, you're going to love this kind of thing, David, because there's, you know, we say about a cup per person, but this is one that we can just kind of play around with. All of our salads are like this. This is your kind of cooking, isn't it?
Right.
This is your kind. Well, we're going to add some mandarin oranges, and you'll notice that the mandarin oranges have been drained. That's one thing you want to remember. If you're using a canned vegetable, you always want to make sure that they do get drained, and I see that they've drained fairly well. Now, the other thing we're going to add is some red onion slices. And again, you can kind of vary the amount based on your particular taste or how much you like onions, or you can even chop it, dice it, anything you'd like to do. We could certainly go to the grocery store and buy some raspberry vinaigrette, but David, it is so easy, as you just showed, to make our own homemade salad dressing. So let me toss this a little bit, and sometimes the best way to toss a salad is what? With your hands. I'm surprised you didn't mention that, David. That sounds like something you'd be interested in mentioning. Okay, and we'll take away these mandarin oranges. Thank you so much. Now, let's make our homemade raspberry vinaigrette. And we're going to start with about 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. And again, you can play with this salad dressing. If you decide you want a little bit more vinegar, no big deal, you just want to add it. But we'll start with about 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. And this is a special kind of wine, vinegar. You can find it in the grocery store, and you probably do want to use red wine for the good taste. Then we'll add about 1/3 a cup of olive oil, and I'm using light olive oil. The next thing we're going to add is going to be your favorite, and my favorite probably, and that is about 2 tablespoons of red raspberry jelly or preserves. Then we'll sprinkle in just a little bit of pepper for taste and just a little bit of salt, not a whole lot, for taste. Now, we can shake this, and it does take a little bit of effort sometimes to get that raspberry jelly dissolved, and you might need to use a little whisk. The nice thing about making your own salad dressing, well, there's a couple of things. You know exactly what's in it. You can make it a whole lot less expensive than you buy at the grocery store, and you can kind of alter it to your taste. I'm sure you've done a little bit of experimenting with the vegetable salad dressing.
I have, but I've never messed with the jelly, but I just sort of wonder what, I know raspberry's traditional, but there's a lot of other jellies we make too around here.
Well, there's a lot of other jellies, and it's nice if you can find some red raspberry preserves that have the seeds. But I didn't happen to have those available today. So I'm still shaking, and you see the jelly is starting to dissolve. It takes a little bit of elbow grease to get this dissolved. And you might even want to use a whisk to help it along a little bit, and we're trying to rush it a little bit. That this will often help it dissolve. So this is something new for you. I thought it might be.
I've bought raspberry vinaigrette from the store before, but I've never created it.
Oh.
We have a little bit of difficulty growing raspberries because it's so warm, but we can very easily grow blackberries. Is something that's typically got a little bit stronger taste than raspberry, so I don't know how it would work, but I'd be curious to find out.
It would be something to try for sure, David. The main thing is that you just experiment with it, and the traditional combination of red onions, mandarin oranges, and raspberry is kind of a traditional salad combination. Now, we're ready to what we call dress the salad. Have you heard that term before? I'm sure
salad
you.
dressing?
Well,
we sometimes
no.
use salad drowning.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that out. That's exactly my point. We have a tendency to drown a salad. And what we like to do is dress a salad. And basically, if you really want to get real specific, it's about a teaspoon per serving. And you'll notice I'm going to put it more on the side. I would say there are 4 or 5 servings in there, maybe a little bit more. I didn't measure it. But you'll notice we are adding teaspoons of the raspberry vinaigrette, not tablespoons, teaspoons. And that's the secret. So now we're ready to toss it. And we are covering the spinach and the mandarin oranges. We're letting all of the fruits come in contact with the salad dressing. And if you feel like you need to add a little bit more, you certainly can. But I've got ample salad dressing on there, as you can tell. Okay, David, here is our combination of raspberry, red wine vinegar, raspberry jelly, mandarin oranges, and spinach. We've made this a lot in our classes in Cook Smart, Eat Smart, and folks just love it, and they're always surprised. Always surprised. That's our first choice, the spinach, mandarin oranges, and red onions. Now, we're not going to take a lot of time to show this, but let's just give our folks and friends some other ideas. Another thing that is absolutely delicious that you can do is you can do kiwi, and I know kiwi doesn't
We don't grow a lot of them.
I'm sure it doesn't grow in Cabarrus County.
The reason we don't is because of the winter injury. The fluctuating temperatures in the spring will cause the winter injury. But
right.
the time of the year that you would do this is when you have lettuce and strawberries available. So you got lettuce and strawberries, and then you add the kiwi, and you're still mostly local, you know, large percentage
and
local.
these are local strawberries. I'm adding now just some washed and sliced strawberries. I started out with maybe about 2 cups of strawberries and 2 kiwi sliced. I have to be honest, I love a lot of fruit in the salad. I'm probably personally overdoing this, but I think it's beautiful, and it's certainly kind of a conversation piece, and maybe one that you haven't had before. Now,
what type of dressing would you think there?
That's a perfect question. Remember that raspberry vinaigrette that we just made? We're going to add it to this salad, and the raspberry vinaigrette may be stored in your refrigerator for several weeks or months, really and truly. When you take it out of the refrigerator, the oil will have solidified. So you want to take it out in time to let it kind of become back to a liquid state. So again, we're just going to add some raspberry vinaigrette on the side. And I've added about 2 teaspoons. I think that's going to maybe 3 teaspoons. And now we're ready to toss it. And I hope some of my pretty strawberries end up on top. And I want to see a kiwi. Okay, what could be healthier than that? You know, strawberries are such a lovely addition to salads, but today our salads really can be used almost as an appetizer, a main course. I haven't seen a dessert salad, but I'm sure that's going to come in the future. All right, so there's our
That's pretty close to a dessert salad right there.
And kiwi. Isn't that, I have to admit, that's beautiful, isn't it? That's beautiful. Nothing like bragging on what we fixed, David. Absolutely nothing like bragging on what we fixed. Okay, I have one more other quick idea, and it's a very quick idea. This is something that's going to feature and showcase some of our local foods that are available in the spring and summer. To the bag spinach, and of course we could be using other kinds of lettuce, but to the bag spinach, I'm adding watermelon. Have you had a watermelon salad before?
I've eaten watermelon a lot of ways.
But have you had it in a salad?
Well, we take blueberries, watermelons, blueberries, and cantaloupes, and make a fruit salad that way.
Do you serve it on lettuce or spinach leaves?
No.
So
that's the trouble. The spinach is not ripe at the same time the watermelon is ripe. So you're one or the other can be local, but not both.
Yes, you're right. But the watermelon, is definitely a North Carolina product. And then we're going to add some red onions that have been sliced. I'm just going to use my fingers to toss them in there. I'm not a great red onion lover, so I won't put a whole lot in. And then, David, these are local cucumbers. You'll be proud of me. I've sliced the cucumbers, and then I've quartered them. So we'll sprinkle some cucumbers. And again, if you have something that's not your favorite, you can just leave it out. But the whole idea of this salad is the watermelons, the cucumbers, and the red onions. Let me toss that a little bit. Now, aren't you going to ask me about the dressing?
Well, I was sort of curious if you was going to put the raspberry dressing on that one.
I am, but I'm going to add something to it. Let me get a little bit, well, I can use this, I think. Let me get a little bit of the raspberry vinaigrette, and to that I'm adding a tablespoon of low-fat mayonnaise that has been flavored with olive oil. This is something that's a little bit newer on the market. Have you seen that before?
No, I'm not familiar with that one.
And by using olive oil in this, and several different companies have it, it's not just one particular brand, we're going to add the tablespoon of low-fat mayonnaise with olive oil. Tablespoon has only 50 calories, and we're going to whisk it. I'm trying to really do it in a hurry today, so I'm not getting it quite as well dissolved as I would like, but I think you get the idea. So now we're ready to add this as our salad dressing. And again, we're going to use just about, a tablespoon. Oh, that still had some mayonnaise in there. Well, that's okay. Well, you know what? Use a
third of that one.
All right, that's a tablespoon. So I'll just put a little bit around the side. Again, it is so important that we don't saturate the salad with our salad dressing. Now, we've added our raspberry vinaigrette, which we've used in 3 different salads. To this one, we have added our olive oil or mayonnaise with olive oil. Now, let's see if we can toss it a little bit. my watermelon has a tendency to go to the bottom, doesn't it? But I think you get the idea. Oh yes, now we go. Now we have it. Isn't that beautiful?
It'd be hard to choose which one of these to eat.
Let me do a little cleanup here, so it'll be really pretty for everyone to see. And I think we're ready now with our watermelon, cucumber, and red onion salad. David, it has been so much fun to look at a variety of salads today, from our marinated vegetable salad that you prepared with your homegrown cucumbers and tomatoes and squash. And then we've done some things with spinach and torn lettuce and spinach again, using mandarin oranges, red onions, strawberries, kiwi, and then in this salad, watermelons, red onions, and cucumbers. What a treat we've got in store for us.
Looks good.
It looks really appealing. David, it is so much fun to eat smart.
And eat local.
And eat local.